Minister, I want to welcome you into the House this morning. Let me start, as I've done previously, Minister, by welcoming the recent 20% reduction in fares and the introduction of the youth travel card. Both changes are indeed helping commuters and will make a difference, but as we all know, more is needed. However, the reason I've asked for this commencement matter this morning is to ask once again and to highlight the totally unfair, penal and discriminatory train fare prices between train stations in South Kildare and those train stations inside the short hop zone, Minister. I want to welcome the creation of a focus group by Newbridge Community Development in the last number of weeks to advocate for an extension of the short hop zone. I've spoken with their spokesperson, Jennifer Caffrey, from the group over the last number of weeks, and I will continue to support them and her in every way I can. I know that they are continuing to put together data in relation to why these prices are so wrong. Of course, since 2018, the local Labour Party in Newbridge has run a campaign to change the pricing structure, having met with Anne Graham, the CEO of the NTA, and presenting her with 8,500 signatures from commuters in the area who also want to see a change in the pricing structures throughout South Kildare. Since that meeting, we have raised, and I have continuously raised with the Minister, various transport ministers and indeed the NTA, and obviously with government at every opportunity, Minister. The fact is that hard-pressed commuters are bypassing Newbridge and other train stations in Kildare South and driving to Salon Station in Naas, obviously to avail of the short hop fares, but who can blame them? Many people save up to €200 per month by choosing to drive past their local station in favour of stopping at Salon Station or simply by driving all the way into the capital for work. The result is the N7 has become a car park and the government have had to propose additional parking spaces at Salon's Naas Station. As I've said in such commencement matters before, it's the human story that tells the true picture, and I wanted to bring you today, Minister, a few of those stories. One is, I move to Newbridge and get the train from Newbridge to Connolly. I avail of the tax saver scheme, costing approximately €185 a month. However, I'm working with colleagues who commute from Salons and their tickets are almost €500 per year cheaper. I'm thinking of driving to Salons. Thanks for continuing to raise this. I travel from Kildare to Dublin by car most of the time because it's cheaper than the train, even with the skyrocketing fuel crisis. That's insane. So much for a climate crisis. I'm living just outside Newbridge and work in Dublin. I always get the train from Newbridge, but became so frustrated that my friend, who was one stop away in Salons, paid half of what I paid each year. I now travel to Salons twice a week because it's cheaper. And it goes on and on and on, Minister, and we can give you as many samples of that as is required. I've been told that a review by the NTA has been carried out onto short hop zone pricing structure and against the structures and vis-à-vis the structures and pricing structures of other stations and how these differences are impacting on computers is actually underway, and that is to be welcomed. However, the CEO of the NTA is on record in this House stating that if funding was provided by government and the Minister, the NTA would be in a position to fix the pricing structure straight away. We are, Minister, in a climate crisis. We need commuters using public transport from their nearest train station in South Kildare, and indeed that is the case for all adjoining counties which traverse this particular capital. It's time the issue was sorted once for all. Commuters have spoken with their cars. We need government to provide the funding, Minister, and I hope that you're bringing some good news to the commuters of South Kildare this morning.
Now, good morning. Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Senator Wall, thank you for your question. I welcome the opportunity to discuss the important topic with members of the House today on behalf, obviously, of the Minister for Transport. I'd like to begin by reassuring the Senator that the Government is strongly committed to helping to combat the rising cost of living experienced throughout the country. A cost-efficient public transport sector, including affordable, accessible public transport service, is vital to a functioning economy. It is in this context that a number of measures have been taken to ensure that services remain affordable. Earlier this year, the Government announced, as you noted in your contribution, the introduction of an average fare reduction of 20% on all public service obligation (PSO) services until the end of 2022, with the Government allocating €54 million in Exchequer funding to support this initiative. The first phase of the fare reduction was rolled out on the PSO services outside the Greater Dublin area on the 18th of April and nationwide on the 9th of May. These discounted fares are benefiting the hundreds of thousands of people across the country who use PSO public transport every day, including those obviously based in County Kildare. The fare reduction is funded until the end of the year. However, the funding allocation does not include an extension of the scheme to commercial operators. However, it has always been the Minister for Transport's intention to include these operators as part of a longer-term young adult card initiative announced as part of Budget 2022. That particular initiative allows any person nationwide who is between 19 and 23 years old to avail of an entitlement to discounted travel costs and to increase the level of discount over and above the current student discount to an average of 50% across all services, including city, intercity and rural services. Mature students who are also in full-time education are included in the scheme, as are eligible visitors to Ireland within the young adult age cohort. This discount has initially been made available on all subsidised PSO, bus, rail and Lewis services. However, I am giving to understand that it will be broadened to include commercial operators, with the expectation to begin a rollout of the initiative to the commercial sector by the start of September. It's clear that the young adult card will be of great benefit to this cohort of users and will not only promote a modal shift in the transport sector, but should also contribute towards a reduced reliance on private transport with the associated benefits. I've been advised that it's technically more challenging to roll out this particular young adult card on a commercial bus network than it is on a LEAP-enabled PSO network. However, the NTA is in detailed discussions with transport operators and the Department of Transport regarding the range of issues that need to be addressed. The Minister for Transport has openly welcomed the deployment of both fare initiatives for 2022. The funding implication and the continuation of such initiatives into 2023 must be considered in the round, along with all other funding asks. I'm assured that the Minister Ryan intends to work closely with Minister McGrath and other government colleagues in the context of the 2023 estimates to see what can be done about supporting public transport services and the travelling public. Thank you.
Yeah, can I thank the Minister for his reply, and I appreciate, as I said in my opening remarks, what the Minister has done in relation to the forthcoming youth travel card and the 20% reduction. But unfortunately that leaves us with a situation in South Kildare that we have commuters who are still going to get into their cars because they're going to save €500 a year or €200. In fact, some of them are saving €150 a month. I have some figures here for you, Minister, from the NTA themselves, which show that 23,458 adults actually bought tickets from Newbridge train station in 2021. That's up from 11,543 in 2016. So we are using the train station in Newbridge, but more and more people are using adult signal tickets because it's too expensive to purchase any other tickets. The Minister has got to look for this vis-à-vis the budget for 2023. The campaign will continue, I can assure you of that. And I welcome the fact that commercial operators are also to be looked at and that funding will be allocated to them because a lot of commuters from South Kildare, from the regions of Athy, etc., they are getting commercial operators to go study in a minute, and it's costing them a lot of money, etc. So it's important that that is actually rolled out to commercial operators. But I would ask you and encourage you to bring back to Minister Ryan the issues in relation to climate, the issues in relation to that the commuters of South Kildare are still getting in their cars to travel to Naas train station, which is no good for anybody. And I ask you to bring that back to the Minister.
Minister. Thank you very much for your remarks. I will, of course, bring it back to the Minister. I have heard this issue raised by a number of colleagues right across. I heard Minister McEntee raising it in relation to her constituency and area, and there is no question there is an issue there in relation to it, which you have very clearly highlighted today. Just to say, obviously, that there is the 20% reduction. I think the Minister is very firmly committed to look to extending that into 2023 and to look what measures can be done, obviously. Thank you very much.